Gotta get your arms way up in a cat. Set the hook on smallmouth bass, and then you'll understand. Gotta get your hands on a Shimano and a jig. Trying to bet you like what you feel. Step on the deck, give it a whirl. Hello, welcome to my world. What is going on Facebook and YouTube Live? I'm just out here sharing my post. I would appreciate it if you would find it in your big old hearts to do the same. Sharing this thing like crazy. Anyway, we'll be talking about the Bassmaster Classic coming up soon. Hopefully you guys are going to make it down there. Hopefully some of you guys are going to go down there. I'll see you. If not, we're going to talk about it for the next couple weeks. I'm going to reach out to Matt Robertson tomorrow and see if he can join us next Tuesday to talk about his third berth into the Super Bowl bass fishing, which is the Bassmaster Classic coming up March. I think it's March 4th, 5th, or let's see, 6th, 7th, and 8th. I'm not sure, I think. Anyway, got some really cool announcements to make today. Andrew Six, what's up, buddy? Stay tuned. I'll be announcing the giveaway here after this show, but it will be on my page. I'll tag you in it. Stephen Chase, what's up, my brother? Hope you're doing well out there around Nashville. If you're home, I'll be seeing you here soon. Can't wait to do some fishing with you, bud. Anyway, thanks for joining this episode of On Another Line Live. Today we're going to be talking about the Bassmaster Classic. We want to see who you think is going to win this thing. We're going to talk about the participants. We're going to talk about some fishing. I'm also going to talk about a giveaway that I'm going to be doing right after this show. It's going to be on my Facebook page, on Another Line Facebook. That's where I'm going to start it at. It's the easiest way to do it. I'm going to be giving away a few things. I have a couple small bottles of JB's Fish Sauce Pinch O Garlic. That's going to be in the giveaway. I'm going to be throwing in some JB's Fish Sauce Jelly, which is Pinch O Garlic, my signature blend. So 3 of those to 3 different people. Throwing in the small Lure Lock box. This is a fantabulous box for your hooks and terminal tackle and things. Does have the Tack Logic lining in there. Brand new, never used it. Throwing in the old Lure Lock sticker as well again. So there's going to be several people to win on this thing. So make sure you take a look at my Facebook page at On Another Line, or facebook.com/OnAnotherLine. Here within hour and a half, I'm going to be posting it. So definitely take that into consideration. I'm going to be giving away 5 jigs to one person. So that's going to be a total of 5 winners. And I'm also going to throw in some new weedless finesse heads that are really tough to get right now. There's going to be 6 different winners for this contest. There's a lot of stuff that you can possibly win, but that's going to be after the show. Check my Facebook. Randy, what's up, buddy? Thanks for joining. I appreciate your support, man, week after week. K. Flair Basson, what's happening, my brother? I'm going to Texas. I'm leaving Easter Sunday, April 17th. We're fishing 18th, 19th, 20th. I think 18th, 19th, 20th, half of the 21st, I believe, and coming home. Don't quote me on that, but we're definitely fishing 18th, 19th, 20th. I think we're fishing 18th, 19th, 20th, half of the 21st and coming back. I can't remember. I'm out of it, but definitely leaving on Easter Sunday, which is April 17th. David Howard, what's up, my man? Good to see you here this evening. Anyway, I'm going to jump right into it today, guys. I have some awesome news for the channel and for you guys out there, because it's something that I'm passionate about, and hopefully it's going to work into something that works out for you guys in the long run. You guys know I like to make my own baits. I make, Ned rigs, and the new weedless Ned rig. I just got the Midwest Finesse jig head that's weedless. I have the original Midwest Finesse head. I have, different things. I pour my own football heads and all this stuff, and I use do-it molds 100% of the time. I've been a huge fan of do-it molds for a long time. I was talking to Ben Nowak, another YouTube content creator that I met years ago through Angler, and we were actually at the Bassmaster Classic Expo about 6-7 years ago. I met the guy through Angler. He's a huge YouTuber. He's got a YouTube channel called Smallmouth Experience. He's from up around Lake St. Clair. Absolutely throws down on some baits and some major giant smallmouth up that way. But I sent him a text message the other day just asking him, because I realized that he was huge into the Do It Molds family. Like, he had become a part of Do It Molds. He's on a lot of their stuff. And again, you guys know that I actually was featured this past spring, me and Kyle, for their new Do It Molds catalog. So I was talking to Ben, and he told me who I needed to reach out and contact at Do It Molds, and definitely encouraged me to do so. So I sent a quick email to their marketing and social media coordinator. And within about 2 hours, I got an email back from this fella saying that he was very aware of my work, which usually is a good or a bad thing. But long story short, you have in your sights here the newest member of the Do It Molds fishing team for the 2022 fishing year. Hold your applause. Hold your applause. Super excited, guys. I'm not downplaying this, dude. I cannot wait to see what I'm going to be able to bring to you guys here in the future. I ordered several $100s worth of their products. Got a substantial deal on it. So it's coming here very soon. You're going to see a lot of products coming out of here on my YouTube channel. So definitely, if you haven't subscribed, I would appreciate it if you would. Yeah, man. I assume you're talking about the Lake Fork trip. I'm very humbled to be able to do so. I'm going to go out and spend some time with one of my buddies, Dusty Smith Jr. He was the guy that you saw on the fishing trip with me and Dad at Lake St. Clair last year. We're going to go out there 4 days, just mano a mano, and going to work on some giant bass, hopefully. Put our things together. It's going to be kind of a wild trip. I'm flying from here. Actually, I'm going to church with my mom on Easter, which I always do. And then I'm going to, Misty's taking me to Charleston on Easter Sunday, and I'm flying out Easter Sunday at 4 o'clock in the evening and to Huntsville, Alabama. I'm supposed to get there at 6 o'clock. Going to Huntsville, meeting Dusty with his truck and boat, going back to his place where he lives to pack up the rest of his gear. And then we're headed west to Lake Fork, which is only about 8 hours from where he's at down there in Huntsville. Excuse me, Decatur, actually, Alabama. We're driving out there, fishing 4 days, driving all the way from Texas all the way back to Ohio. So I'm super pumped up. I'm going to be creating one of the most epic video series I've ever created, just for the simple fact that I feel like that place warrants an epic video series. So stay tuned for that. Steven, for the Lake Fork or the Classic or what? We're getting an Airbnb for both. Shoot me a text message later, man. Like I said, I'll give you details. I don't know how. I'll have to see how many bedrooms are in the Bassmaster Classic thing. But if there's room for you, or there's a couch and you don't care sleeping there, you're more than welcome to come. You know that. So I'll text you and we'll meet up with that. Mark Hickey in the house. What's up, my brother from another mother? Since Mark Hickey is here, we're going to give my brother some love. If you guys have not watched my show in the past for a while, Mark Hickey and his wife have a really good thing going on. His wife's had, as far as I know, a part in a boutique down where they live. Around the Cincinnati area. And they actually, it's in the Kentucky side there of Cincinnati. But anyway, they started a new fishing line called Apex Fishing Apparel. You can check those out at apexfishingapparel.com. Waller 10 will save you some dough. Doesn't mean anything to me other than the fact that you're helping my buddy out and saving yourself some dough. So 10% off for those of you guys out there following and watching along. Apex Fishing Apparel would definitely be the place I would go. Also, just like last week, this episode brought to you by people just like you out there watching this episode of On Another Line. I appreciate your support more than you ever know. It means a lot. I've gained a lot of followers over the past few days, and I credit a lot of that to Shimano releasing some new products and me I really wasn't in the know, but I knew they were going to come out with a new product very soon. And they released some new stuff we'll talk about in just a minute, but they released 3 new reels. They released a Sahara, which is a lower end spinning reel. They released a Bantam new for this year, which is going to be an absolute freaking stud of a reel. And then they went and made the absolute best fishing rod or fishing reel as far as in the spinning rod lineup, and their side even better, which is amazing. Did raise the price $50, $749.99 for the new Stella. But my God, if it's anything as good as the Stella is now, and they make it even better, holy crap! Take my money. Holy crap! Yeah, Steven, definitely. Like I said, man, I need all the help I can get. I did order some plastic soft bait making stuff from Do It. I'm really excited to see what comes up with it. I do have a lot of stuff coming out on my YouTube channel here coming up. My goal is to produce a video every Monday, live on Tuesday, and another video on Thursday for a long time. Guys, I'm driving for that 4,000 subscriber mark on YouTube, and it makes a huge difference for me to hit that thing. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is my make it or break it year. I either hit 4,000 subscribers by the end of December 2022, or I'm hanging this up for good. I'm still going to fish, but creating content takes so much time. It is an absolute passion of mine, but so much time goes into it being a one-man wrecking crew. That 4,000 sub mark is my make it or break it point. If I hit 4,000 or more by the end of this year, then I'm just going to keep on trucking until they put me in the grave doing this stuff, because I love doing this and hanging out with you guys on Tuesdays. But I got to see some fruits of my labor, and that's my make it or break it. So that 4,000 subscriber mark, anything you guys could do, I would appreciate it. But you know, I'm trying to learn, so I appreciate it. But yeah, the Classic, man. Like I said, I'll text you here in a little bit. I'll show you where we're staying at if you're interested. Definitely. We got 6 people going, but would love to have you. Definitely be fun. We're a mile away from the arena. What's up, my brother? Camera Wheel, what's up, buddy? Fork is epic. Just stay running the channel, boys. Yeah, so that's the issue, man. Like right now, it's low. Obviously, I'm sure you're seeing that, but I'll text. You know, maybe I'll shoot you some messages for some pointers. We're going there. I assume it's going to be post spawn. We're going April, and that's a little late in Texas. I mean, I figure they're probably February to early March spawn at the latest. Last year it was a little crazy. I had a buddy that was down there in April, and they were still on the beds the second week of April, which is basically when we're going. But if you remember, they had an entire week and a half of totally frozen Texas, which I'm sure is not going to happen this year. So I appreciate it. I've heard about. I do have an SD card now with the boat lanes on it for Fork, which I'm really proud of. Able to get a hold of. I'll be running that on an iPad, like a 15-inch iPad Pro. Hopefully we don't hit anything, because I'll die and my iPad will go in the water. So, but I'll be hitting you up. Maybe you should give you some pointers. What's up, Corey Reaver? Thanks for joining tonight, man. Guys, if you want to follow along with an absolute hammer that's going to be fishing some big tournaments this year, go over and check out Corey Weaver Outdoors on Facebook. Also, major contributor to JB's Fish Sauce. And if you guys are just now joining it, at the end of this show, I'm going to be announcing a giveaway on my Facebook page here in about an hour on Another Line. So it's facebook.com/OnAnotherLine. I'm going to be giving away a lot of stuff. I got a couple of sample bottles here of JB's Fish Sauce Pinch of Garlic Spray. I have 1 jar of Jelly Pinch of Garlic, small lure lock box that's going to be thrown in there, 5 jigs, and some weedless finesse jigs. There's going to be let's see, 6 different winners. There will be a link on my Facebook page. Definitely check that out. Nate Witt, what's up, my man? Hope you're feeling better. Looked like you were kind of under the weather the other day when I saw you. Hey, Steven, man, like I said, whatever you want to do, buddy. Like I said, I'm sure it's not too far from you there in Greenville. It's actually, I don't know, it's a decent piece. But like I said, I'll text you. I'll give you some information. Love for you to come down. Yeah, so Kevin, I'm glad you mentioned that, because yes, I've already talked to Corey about creating a worm oil with JB's Fish Sauce attractant pinch of garlic already in it. So you already know, man, my baits are definitely going to have the sauce on it. Man, Aaron, I hope I can, dude. It's one of those things where I know they're there and I trust my abilities to catch them, but going to a lake and having 4 days to catch a 10-pounder, or even, I'm just looking for my personal best, man. My personal best fish right now is a little over 6.5 pounds, like 6'6", which is not that big. I mean, I talk a mean game. I catch some decent fish, but I really haven't traveled to the land of these giant fish. I don't go to Florida and fishing to fish. I've never been to Alabama really fishing. I went to Guntersville one time for 2 days, and Kyle ended up catching a 6.5. Great couple of days there, but I haven't really traveled to this place where the land of the giants happen. And I feel like that at Lake Fork is the best opportunity I've ever had in my entire life to have the ability to catch a 10-pound bass. Is it going to happen? We'll have to see. I'm going to have 3.5 days to catch an absolute hammer. 10-pounder, be damned. I'd love to have a 10-pounder, but I just like to catch my personal best out there, and I'll make that trip more than worth it for me. Fred Redfern, what's up, buddy? Thanks for the support week after week. We got them Wayne boys in the house. Them Wayne boys from way out Wayne. You guys from way out Wayne, or are you just kind of from out Wayne? So yeah, I've been to Erie a bunch. I go to Erie pretty much every year. St. Clair's my favorite. Biggest smallmouth I've ever caught. 5 pound, 6 ounces. Lake St. Clair, April, 6 years ago. Talked to Aaron Strickland, Marine Plus here. Called him. I was like, hey, man, I've never been to Lake St. Clair, but I have spring break this year in April. Should I go to St. Clair? And he's like, dude, it's the best time to go. So me and Missy, never been there before in my life, ever. We just loaded the boat up one day. One night, man, I called him like Friday night at 8 o'clock, talking to him. He's like, yeah, man, you need to go. So we loaded the boat up that night, like hours later. It was like midnight. And then drove 5.5 hours there, get there when it's cracking daylight, put in at Harley Ensign ramp. Had no clue where I was even at. Getting ready to put my boat in the water, and I realized that you have to have what's called a sportsman's pass up there to get access to all the ramps. And I didn't want to get fined. So there's a sheriff driving by. So I flagged the sheriff down. There's a sheriff station right on Harley Ensign. So he comes up. I was like, hey, man. I tell him the story. I was like, I'm from Ohio. I've never been here before. I'd like to, where can I buy one of these passes? I don't want to get fined. And he said, I don't know why you're up here fishing this early. Just go fishing. Nobody's going to bother you. And literally, that was what happened. We fished for 3 days and absolutely smashed them. I caught the biggest smallmouth I've ever caught in my life the very first time, so that's why I'm hooked. Smallmouth, I love Lake Erie. There's some hammers in Lake Erie, but you have to run so far in Lake Erie to find smallmouth usually, out around the islands and stuff. Even if you put in like Catawba or somewhere like that, you still got a pretty decent run to get somewhere. If the wind blows and it gets big, you're pretty much stranded for a while. Could potentially get deadly. So if I'm going to go try to catch a giant smallmouth, I would go a couple hours north of that and hit St. Clair. But you're right. St. Clair, Lake Erie is amazing. Yeah, no doubt, man. Steven caught a 10-pounder on a whopper plopper, man. Like you guys have heard my hate for ploppers. Like if they were the last bait on earth, I would definitely quit fishing. That's how much I hate them. Do they catch fish? He is case in point. They do catch fish. You know why? Because he caught a freaking 10-pounder. It was almost 11, actually, I think. It was well over 10.5 on a plopper down at Chickamauga. Hammer time. There we go. Out Wayne. So you guys aren't wow. You're just kind of out there. Played at a bar one time at a music venue out there around your area called R Bar. And it was an adventure. So you boys stay out of that place. Terrible. Hey, David. That is a great question, man. I'd love to do a video for you soon. I'll be coming up a bunch of stuff. But my advice to you is to look online, some forums and stuff. You need what's known as a fluid bed. And a fluid bed is nothing more than you can get a fish tank aerator. You can buy them at Walmart for like $20 with some tubing. And you take brown paper sack. Like you go to a store and get a brown paper. If you can find them anywhere, I guess stores still have brown paper sacks. If you can find some, get a couple of them. And you just cut these discs out. And you build this little chamber out of PVC. So the hose goes in the bottom of the chamber. Then there's the chamber is here. And then you have the hose coming in. And then you take a screw cap and you screw down. You're basically creating a baffle of that brown paper sack. And what happens is that air comes through and forces its way through that brown paper sack, and you pour the powder paint on top of that brown paper bag, and the density of that brown paper bag just lets air come through like more evenly spaced out. So it keeps that paint. When you move the thing, it almost looks like it's fluid. It literally is. It's just suspended in a group in some air there. So my what I do is I just take a pair of pliers and I hold the jig head and I put it over a heat gun for 10, 12 seconds, depending on how big it is. If you're talking about a Ned rig or something, if you hold it over for 10 seconds on a Ned rig, it will literally melt. It will get that hot. So you'll get a feel of it. And then once you do that, you just dip it in that little fluid thing of paint. And when you pull it out, it will be totally done, man. And you can I use toothpicks to get the paint out of the eyes. At that point, you could say it's done and just call it good. I've done that several times. But the best way to do that, the reason it's, powder paint is just like powder coating something else, like a frame or something. You could take that jig head and put it in like a toaster oven for 15, 20 minutes at 350, and it bakes that paint on there and makes it twice as hard, and it's less susceptible to chipping. Personally, I've done it both ways. If I'm going to be fishing like St. Clair, like sandy bottoms most of the time, I usually don't bake them, but I got this now. I got it set up now. I got it where I bake them all, because I make anywhere from 50 to 100 jig heads at a time. I just put them all in that jig head or in that toaster oven, turn it on for 15, 20 minutes at 350. It goes off on its own. Next thing you know, bada bing, bada boom, you got some jigs. But I'll make a video for you, man. Kelly's Island is thebomb.com. Love that place. Northeast side of Kelly's, Kyle caught the biggest smallmouth I think I've ever seen in my entirety of my life. And it was an absolute slammer. It was well over 6 pounds, no doubt. Long story short, the reason we didn't weigh it was because we got his scale drenched in water the day before, because we had his brand new, that was like 3 weeks old, a brand new Z21. It was the very first Z21 sold in Ohio. Kyle had it. We go to Lake Erie like 3 weeks later, and we're fishing in between Put in Bay and the Bass Islands there. And we're looking around. I look back, and there's a giant black storm coming from the east. And I tell Kyle, I've been to Lake Erie plenty enough. I was like, dude, we got to go. I said, I don't care where we go. We got to go somewhere. So by the time we come out around Put in Bay and got out into the gap between Put in Bay and Catawba Island there, it was blowing like crazy. We were in 7-footers, no doubt. I'm talking just giant waves, man. We would go into one and through one. And we had so much water in his Z21 that the water was hitting the backs of my legs at the seat level. When I tell you we just about sunk this thing, we just about sunk it. Like, I've never been so scared in my entirety of my life. But that day we had his scale in the bottom of the boat, and it took an absolute crazy boat ride. I had one of the craziest times that day. We about died for one. I don't think we would have died. We had, it wasn't cold, and we had like life jackets on, so we would eventually, floated to shore. But I look back and my GoPro was gone. Like, a wave had come over and broke the GoPro off of my Yolatech. It was gone. I was like, oh crap, there's $400. That makes this day even worse. And I look back in behind Kyle's motor of his boat, right in the little splash well there, and my GoPro was laying in there. I got lucky. What's up, Brian? Hey, buddy. Chickamauga around the 1st of April. Yes, sir, man. I went there twice now. I went 4 years ago, I think. 4 years ago, the first time, 1st of April, around in there. We fished the Dayton area. I feel like the Dayton boat ramp is the nicest. It's easier to get in, a lot of parking. A lot of people put in at Chester Frost and things like that. I feel like the people have better luck down that way towards Chester Frost, down towards the power plant. There's more fish caught down there, bigger fish in my opinion. But there's a place called Mud Creek up around Dayton that's really good. But make sure you have some decent graphs on your boat, which I'm sure you do. Mud Creek, I got up in there and just about got hung up because I didn't have that opportunity. Like, you're hugging the bank to get back in there. But there is a place called Blue Water Marina there in the I don't know what that is. It's not Sail Creek. Anyway, the creek that Dayton boat ramp is in there, there's a big giant resort there called Blue Water Marina, which is a really good place to stay, by the way, I hear. You can stay there, and that whole creek right there where that Blue Water Marina is pretty good. Matter of fact, Misty and I were in there I was throwing a jerk bait. Had a fish miss my bait, so I told Misty to throw her bait up in there. She was throwing a swing head, like a KVD rodent on a swing head. Throws it up in there. 10-pound test on like a 6'8" spinning rod. Sets a hook, comes up, jumps. It's like 6.5 pounder or 5.5 pounds. Sorry, and it's freaking giving her all she wants. She finally gets this thing to the boat, and we net it, and it was an absolute blast. But she caught the biggest bass she's ever caught there. I caught some really good places. Cell Creek is really good, but believe me when I tell you this, just as Cameron was talking about the boat lanes on Fork, be sure you're mindful of the buoys on Chickamauga, especially that time of year, because it's going to be a winter pool. And 20 feet outside of the channel markers could go from 60 feet in the channel to 1.5 feet. And I'm not talking about sandy bottoms. I'm talking about rock and chunk rock and stuff. Cell Creek is a really good place to check out again, but stay in the buoys. But down, like even farther from Cell Creek is really good. Caught most of our fish on a jerk bait. Swing head was really good. Spinner bait. I caught a lot of fish on a 4-inch Kitech swim bait, 1/2-inch head. Anytime we could find any kind of cover, rocks, riprap, stuff like that, we caught them. Steeper banks, anything we could find a real steep drop off with rock on it. If you go back in Cell Creek, there's a bridge you have to go under, and all the way to the right-hand side of that bridge until you can't go any farther is an amazing bank. I caught 4 fish in there in one day that were 4 pounds or bigger. Hey, Adam, what's up, buddy? Let's see. Every piece of footage Keith Combs has in Lake Fork and get your hands on. Truly magic and see. Lots of little details. 10-pounder on a big tequila sunrise worm. Yeah, man. You know, catching a 10-pounder, if you're in the 10-pound club, you're in you're in the midst of legends. But I'm with you on Keith Combs. He is an absolute hammer, and that is basically his home lake. So that's a great idea. So definitely, I sent a message to Keith Combs on Facebook the other day, trying to get him on the show. And when I say I messaged a couple people as far as pros, I mean I messaged 50. So I'm still waiting that stuff. I know their season's starting back up, but hopefully we'll see what's happening. So I'll check it out. Hopefully I can join that 10-pound club with you. What's up, John Jones? How you doing, buddy? Put in Bay is an amazing place. Get yourself in trouble there if you're not watching out. It's a lot more mellow than it used to be, but you can definitely get yourself in trouble. Stonewall Jackson tournament in late April. Any recommendations? I have never been there, but there are 2 of my buddies that fish there quite often. Casey Fields and his buddy Stephen Green, I think is his name. Apologize if that is wrong. I know his last name is Green. But anyway, they fish there quite often. I will reach out to them in the next day or so, and what I uncover, I will let you know. I know that they caught some fish on chatterbait, I believe, was a really good bait there. There is muskie in there, though. I do know that because they caught some. So let me find out what I can find out for you, and I'll definitely let you know. Yeah, man, Blue Water Resort. Like I said, it's a super nice place. I think it's extra, but you can get a boat slip right there that's covered. So you literally walk out of the resort into your boat and fish. So it's a really nice place. But Brian, if I were you, like I said, I've had more luck downriver from Dayton. I've never used any other boat ramp on there. I do know, without a shadow of a doubt, there are some boat ramps that can get you in trouble there, and they're really shallow winter pool. Somebody that you need to reach out to find out more odds and ends about it is going to be Bradley Saunders. Fished with Lawrence County there with us for a few years. He actually caught a 10-pounder down there last year, and he caught. He may give you the baits and stuff he caught them on, but he can definitely tell you where they're at. But again, I said that most of the bigger fish I find that I see are being caught are down towards the power plant, which is almost the opposite end of the lake from where I'm talking about. I like Dayton. There's a couple hotels there. I think there's a Holiday Inn Express, I think, right there that I stay at pretty close. It's like 2-3 miles from the boat ramp. Nice accommodations, fairly cheap, less than $100 a night, and there's hardly ever anybody that stayed there. Misty and I went down in April of 2020, which, as we all know, is when this crazy pandemic started. We literally, and I'm not kidding you when I say this, were the only people in the entire hotel, other than the people working there. We could have had the entirety of the, we could have, had whatever room we wanted, but it was kind of eerie. And didn't know if I know what I know now, I would have stayed down there and fished. I would have still probably been down there, to be honest with you. But we came home 2 days early just for the simple fact is I was scared and I didn't know what to expect, as we all didn't. So being out of town, that was back when they were talking about quarantining people, and they were talking about people before they actually made us stay home and all that stuff. So we stayed a couple days and ended up coming home. That was when they were talking about stopping interstate travel and things. I'm like, I'm in Tennessee. I better get home before this stuff happens. But Chickamauga was an awesome lake. But be careful. Make sure you're knowing the depths of where you're at, and stay in the buoys. Hey, Fred. Local fishing expos. I will be at Tackle Box in South Point, Ohio for their open house, which is one of my favorite expos. And that is, let me find it. It's February 12th and 13th, I believe. Let me make sure this is 100% correct because I don't want to mess that up for you. February 12th and 13th, Saturday and Sunday. I think it's like 9 to 5 on. I'll make a post on. I think it's 9 to 5 on Saturday, and then like 10 to 4 or something on Sunday. He's never normally open on Sundays, but guys, when I tell you this, I'm going to tell you, I can't tell you the price. Just trust me on this. But if you want to get your hands on an NRX Plus, the brand new G Loomis NRX Plus, they're $625 to $650 retail. When I tell you that weekend, you're never going to see another priced NRX like that unless it's used. He has 70 of them in stock. I'm telling you, if you're looking for an NRX Plus and you miss that weekend show, after that, I tell you what he sold them for. You are literally going to walk out the front door and have somebody kick you square in the behind. I am not kidding you when I say that. Trust me, if you want an NRX Plus, Tackle Box in South Point, Ohio, February 12th and 13th, I'll be there. Like to meet you, Fred. Come on out. But anybody look for NRX Plus or any other Shimano or G Loomis product, he's going to have them. Most everything is 10% off. Rods and reels that isn't already marked down, I'm already going to tell you that it's going to be more than 10% off an NRX. So that's already going to save you $62.50. And it's going to be more than that. Back of Sail is hot right now. I wouldn't doubt it. I love Sail Creek, man. That big bowl back in there, I loved it. Awesome. Stephen caught a 10. A-rig, shallow crankbait. Hope you're taking notes, Brian. 2014 wing. Let's see here. Clewiston, is that down by your place there, Kevin? I think so. I think we had a conversation about that. You heard I was going to start a club? Come on, bro. I don't have time for that. No way, dude. I'm probably going to fish for Lawrence County this year. Just for the simple fact is I can't attend all of them, but no, I am not starting a club. No way. There's too much BS drama that goes on with clubs, especially running them. Man, I can't keep myself healthy, let alone 50 grown adults that want to catch fish. I'd just much rather go fish somebody else that has to deal with it. Go fish, pay my money, and if I catch them, great. If I don't, go home and live another day. But I am not starting a club. Let's see. Englewood, Ohio, I assume, is where you're talking about. So let's look at some maps around Englewood. Let's see. So I guess that's up around Springfield. That's above Dayton. Yeah, man. Cedar Creek Lake is a little south of there. Really good. That's probably an hour south of there is really good. Buck Creek State Park is up around Springfield, which is up northeast of there. Looks to me like there's some like backwater there coming in from the Mad River. There's a Lyre Lake there, Lyre, Lyre Lake. Not sure if that's a pay lake. There's Eastwood Lake. There's all kind of stuff around Dayton I didn't even know existed. Kyle lives there, and there's a Kaiser Lake north of there, probably 2 hours above that. Maybe an hour. But if you're around that area and you want to fish some decent lakes, they're not hammers by any means, but north of that, about an hour and 10 minutes probably, is Grand Lake St. Mary's and Indian Lake. If I were to choose the two I would fish, I would probably choose Grand Lake St. Mary's. Stay in the canals, throw a crankbait on the riprap, you'll catch them. Do not fish the actual bowl of the lake, because it's nothing but a big giant mud hole. There's literally nothing to hold fish out there. If you're not in the canals, you're not catching them. And Indian Lake is really good, especially get back in what they call the the wildlife reserve or something back in there. There's a bunch of lily pads, flipping pitch those things with a big weight, half ounce to probably even ounce and a quarter in those things with some kind of flipping bait like KVD rodent or something like that. You catch them. But I've never fished anywhere around Dayton, but the Cedar Creek Lake is phenomenal. I will tell you that. Country Cabin Retreat in Decatur across from Dayton. All right, I'll check it out, man. But yeah, the water is crazy in some of the spots. It's amazing to me. I personally was lucky enough to get down there. Guys, I don't have the greatest grasp on my boat. You know this. I'm still working my way up to try to be able to afford it. I have a lot of stuff going on right now. If you guys you follow my show a lot, you know that so a week and a half ago, I bought a new truck. So I'm not in the Ram anymore. So let's have a moment of silence. No, we're not going to have a moment of silence for the Ram. Screw that thing. Hated that thing from day one. Hopefully I get some better luck out of this Chevrolet. But I don't know. When I went down there with my little graphs, my little 6-inch Humminbirds, they do really well. But where I don't have a through-hull transducer, so when I'm on plane, couldn't tell you how deep I am. I just look down. If I can't see the water, if I can't see the bottom, then I'm good. You keep that Stratus up on the freaking pad and just hope it doesn't hit anything hard. Staying in there. But I missed one of the channel markers going into Sail Creek. I cut it off by about, 20 feet. And I looked down. All I saw was jagged rocks and freaking stumps and stuff. I was like, oh, crap. So Misty was there. I yelled at her to hold on, because I just knew any second we were just going to hit something and we were just going to go flying. But by the grace of God, we did not. I apparently, just got lucky and went through some gaps that I should have, or another boat had done the same thing and cleaned out the spot that I went through there. But it is really, really dangerous, so make sure. April 22nd through the 24th. Let me see here, man. I should be. Wait a minute. Yeah, I guess I will be. I should be getting back the 22nd. That's when I'm going to Lake Fork. I'm leaving the 17th. I'll be gone the 18th, 19th, 20th, half of the 21st, and I'll be driving home probably about noon on Thursday, and it's about a 17-hour drive from Lake Fork to my house. So it's going to be a tote. What are your Steven? I'm lost, man. What do you need, buddy? I can bring it to you for sure. Whatever you need, message me. We've talked about so many things today. Lake Talquin. Hey, man, that's okay. It sounds to me like you're going to have an amazing time as well. So I hope you go down there and catch an absolute slam banger of one. But other than that, man, you can catch me at the tackle box a lot of times. But if you want to meet up, hang out, if you're around the tackle box, let me know when you're going to be there. I'll come up and meet you, man. Not a problem. That's right, bro. Are you guys fishing you're fishing with Pedro, right? I fished with you guys for a while. It was a pretty good time. Man, when me and Josh are fishing together, this year is, man, Josh and I were fishing together. We started this podcast together, Josh and I, my cousin and I. He got into the bass fishing or the basketball side of things. He's got kids, which I understand, and he is huge into basketball coaching now, and that's where his passion lies. So he and I started fishing together. Now I'm fishing by myself. So I'm looking for somebody out there that's, interested in hitting a few tournaments here and there inside my area. I fished Lewis County Lunkers last year and had an amazing time. Brandon Buckner and those guys have a really cool deal. Man, the cool thing about it was, and I feel like all the clubs around here get a bad rap. Like I heard years and years and years and years and years ago when I was a kid that Lawrence County was nothing but a bunch of babies and stuff, which, Guys, I've been a member of all these clubs for several years. I've never met a bad person in any of these clubs. I always have a great time, man. I think it's all about the energy we put out and what kind of BS you bring. Man, like I've met some really cool people. Me and Brian Davis is our buddy because we fish together. Like there's tons of clubs around here. And that's another weird thing is that there are tons of clubs. I've just named 4. There's Pedro, Lewis County Lunkers. There's the Lawrence County Bass Club. There's a lot of different ones around here. And that's cool, man. There's a lot of people. This is sad to say, but in our area, there's a lot of people that get into fishing, and there's a lot of people that get into drugs, and there's no in between. So I'm glad I chose fishing. Roland Martin Marina, I got you. Yeah, that's right. Marathon Bass League is an open club as well. Fish there with I fished an open there this past year. Got lucky enough to win that thing. Dude, I'm telling you what, I had an absolute hammer of a year this year. I didn't fish any giant tournaments, but I had fun. I fished 10 tournaments and finished in the money in 7 of them. And I won 5 of them, which is amazing. Local club tournaments is one thing. I had an absolute amazing time. Good time. Love it. Yep, Cedar Creek is a good one, man. Up there in it's south of Dayton. It's like southeast of Dayton a little bit. Yeah, man. If I could talk my school to let me off, we would definitely go. I'd love to be in Florida, but all good. So, guys, 20 deep, man. Thank you guys for joining. Again, I'll be I'm going to give away some stuff at the end of this show on my Facebook page. Don't run off for that. Definitely go over and check it out. It'll be posted within 10 minutes of this actually ending. But let's talk about the 2022 Bassmaster Classic presented by Hook. Greenville, South Carolina, Lake Hartwell, super deep lake. I feel like that spotted bass are going to play into it because they always do. I asked Ronnie Moore when I had him on my show a few weeks ago. I said, Ronnie, why, oh why, with all of the amazing bass fishing lakes that we have in the United States, why are we back at Hartwell for a 3rd classic in 7 years? Explain that to me. Please help me understand. And he laughed and kind of giggled because he gets it, but I also get it. And his response was very professionally saying that it's about business. Whoever can bring the most fans there, have the most turnout, and have the most accommodations for those people, the pros, the people that are showing up like you and I, spectators, other people, other anglers watching other anglers on the lake. That's where it comes from. He said it's all about the hospitality of Greenville and stuff. So we had a conversation about it. He obviously is impartial because he has to be. I think he probably had a choice. If he had a choice, he would tell you who's going to win it, but he's not going to because he's one of the anchors of Bassmaster Live. If you guys didn't check out that video, you definitely need to go back and watch that live video. It was one of the best live videos that I've ever done on this channel. Ronnie Moore is an absolute amazing guy, even better person since I've got to know him. We talked about some really cool stuff that day. But the 2022 Academy Sports Bassmaster Classic presented by Hook. Now, here, I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say that there's going to be a herring factored in there. There's going to be some sort of herring bait fish that's going to potentially cause this tournament to be won. A couple years ago, it was won on an underspin in these big gullies of these creeks coming out onto the main lake point. We saw Casey Ashley throwing these things as him and his dad made these baits in their garage, won a Bassmaster Classic on it. He is absolutely, can never be taken away from him. He has won a Bassmaster Classic. He's from that area. And then, it turned out that, there was another tournament win there. There was a lot of different ways it was won. And then this 3rd time coming back in there. So, by the way, that was won by, yep. Slipping my mind here, but holy crap. Somebody refresh my memory. Lee. Won by Mr. Lee. That was his back-to-back Classic champion number 2. That was the second one he won in a row. Last 2 have been Hank Cherry. I'm going out on a limb here. I'm putting all of my money on none other than Matt Robertson. On him fishing, Matt Robertson, chucking the ugly stick, giant swim baits. I don't think he'll be throwing a big swim bait that time, but I think that it's going to stack up much like Kentucky Lake does in ledge fishing in the summertime, in the spring there. And I saw they put a lot of different people in like odds, and they put 15-1 odds on Matt Robertson. And that's actually fairly good compared to what it was. It went all the way down to 40-1 odds. So they put him in like the top 10 of winning this thing, which was pretty daggone amazing. So I'm going to call it now. Matt Robertson wins the 2022 Bassmaster Classic at Hartwell. Who do you guys got? Ton of people fishing, and obviously a ton of amazing anglers. Bassmaster, whoever done this, the article that they were talking about here, they're putting Brandon Cobb at a 3-2 favorite. A 3-2 favorite there. Yeah, Fred, like I said, it's not on there yet. Give me 15, 20 minutes. It'll be on there. So give it a little bit and you'll see that thing on that, the giveaway. But anyway, they're putting Brandon Cobb as the odds-on favorite to win a 3-2. That's almost even money. They're pretty much all but guaranteeing Brandon Cobb's going to win it. The reason that is because he's a hometown local boy. He's from Greenville or Greenwood, South Carolina. So there's 37 years of the Bassmaster Classic. This will be the 37th, this is the 38th Bassmaster Classic. So for the first 37 years of the Bassmaster Classic, not one. So wait a minute. The first 37 years of the Bassmaster Classic, not one person from their home state won that Bassmaster Classic. So if they were from that state, there was no one ever to win it in the first 37 years. However, it has happened 5 times in the last 15 years that the hometown person for the Bassmaster Classic has won it. So you have Brandon Cobb, Jacob Porosnik is in it, Patrick Walters, Jason Christie, Seth Fighter, Greg Hackney, Scott Martin, Brandon Polinick, Hank Cherry, obviously. He's a 2-time Bassmaster Classic, going for a 3-peat here. Stetson Blaylock, Jeff Gustafson, Drew Cook, Chris Johnston. I think it's gonna play into the Johnston brothers' hand too, because they're finesse type fishermen from Canada A. So they're gonna have an upper hand there, especially if it sets up in those where they can actually do some like Demiki rigging and things. Could be crazy. I don't think it's going to be quite that cold. I hope it's not. Last time I was down there, it was like the coldest Bassmaster Classic ever. Brock Mosley, Brandon Lester, Taku Itu is there. G-Man, Matt Robertson again. That's who I think is going to win it. Caleb Summerall, Lee Livesey, who won the Lake Fork tournament down there. He's actually a guide on Fork. Caught a mega bag the last day of the Elite Series out there. Zaldane. Speaking of Zaldane, do you guys understand? Maybe there has to be money involved, but why does Zaldane leave Megabass? He went with like Guggen and that crew. Why did he leave Megabass? Were they going to get rid of him anyway? Why do you leave the best swim bait manufacturer on the planet, and especially for what he does? Why do you do that? I mean, there must have been some major stuff going on there, but pretty crazy. Douglas Lake, that's down around Tennessee, man. Like I said, I'll talk to you more about it Saturday, but we'll have to see, man. It sounds like a good time. Hey Nate, yeah, man, we're going down too, so I can't wait. It's going to be a big time, I think. We have an Airbnb less than a mile away from the thing. I hope we can walk there. I hope it's walking distance and walking weather. The host said it could be done, but it's kind of a decent hill getting from there to there. But we're walking, so I'm sure we'll see you multiple times. Hank Cherry could be a three-peat. I'm with you. So, Randy, man, I don't know. I think that Hank Cherry obviously has to be in a fantasy pick. I do believe that I would definitely say, as Bassmaster said, that Brandon Cobb will be a really good one. Porosnik is from Virginia. They have him as a 3-1 favorite. Patrick Walters is from Somerville, South Carolina, which is not too far from there. 3-1 on that one. Jason Christie's 4-1. He's from Park Hill, Oklahoma, which is quite a ways away. But he, Christie can catch him all the time. Fighter with the spotted bass and things is a good pick. But again, I would think that if I was going to have an outlier in my fantasy pick, I would definitely throw in my man Matt Robertson. He can absolutely catch him. That's cool, man. I'm telling you what, it's probably a lot nicer down there as far as weather. We get another snowstorm coming through. It looks like Friday into Saturday, which sucks. Buddy Gross would be a good one too, man. I'd like to see an underdog win it, and that's the reason I say Matt Robertson, because the cool thing about Matt Robertson, guys, he was on my show a year ago. I've got to know him, not personally, but I know who he is. He knows who I am. And the guy is literally what you see is what you get. He was asked one time in a Bassmaster Classic interview. Guy comes up to him. He's like, "Hey, Matt, what would you do with the money if you won a Bassmaster Classic?" He said, "Well, I always thought that I would pave my driveway." He said, "If I win the Bassmaster Classic, I'm buying the whole trailer park, and I guarantee you him in it." That's why I love that dude so much. He is what you see is what you get. If you want to talk to him and have some hangout with him, he's going to be live tomorrow on Stray Casts podcast. Definitely go over and check that out. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why he went over there. I don't know. Yeah, man. Myself, Misty, Kyle, his girlfriend, Dusty Smith, and his fiance now are all going. Possibly Steve and Chase, if he can make it down there. We'll all be down there. If you see me, guys, give me a shout. I'd love to talk to you guys. So I'll be at the Classic. We're driving down. We're leaving early Friday morning, probably late Thursday night. Driving down Friday, going to the expo, then the weigh-ins. We usually pack a boat and fish. We're not doing that this year. So I'll be at the expo a lot. Or in and around there. So definitely, if you guys see us out, shoot me a message on Facebook, whatever. Tell me where you're at. Love to come meet you guys, hang out. Well, man, I think it'll be a little nicer around here in April. But yeah, I'm with you. Like, it's still a decent amount of ways. But one of the things I always look forward to is the Tackle Box Open House in South Point. When we get to the Tackle Box South Point, as far as the open house, I know fishing season is right around the corner, and that is literally less than 3 weeks away. So we are getting close. Stay tuned. Man, like I said, obviously we're a decent amount away from each other, but get a hold of me this time, in the springtime sometime, or in the summer. I'll come up your way. We'll go up to Mosquito Creek again, do some camping and fishing, and hang out. I'd love to hang out with you, man. Do the same thing we did before. We'll go up there, pitch a tent, and rough it for a couple days and fish Mosquito Creek. Love to. So again, I think Matt Robertson is going to be another good one. And again, so Zaldane, you have Matt Herron, John Cruz, Drew Benton, John Cox, Tyler Rivet, Joey. I'm going to butcher this. It's Nania or Nania, Nania. I'd say Joey Nania, I would say. Probably, let's see here. Matt Arias there, David Mullins, Buddy Gross. Again, we talked about him a second ago. Be a good one to win it. Mark Frazier, Chad Pipkins, Steve Kennedy, Brandon Card, Brian New, Brian Schmidt, Shane LaHue, Josh Strackner, Austin Felix, which I'm not sure if he is now or not, but Austin used to be sponsored by JB's Fish Sauce back in the day. Corey, if you're on, is he still part of the team? Wes Logan, Luke Palmer, Kyle Welcher, Justin Hamner, Hunter Shryock, KJ Queen, Ray Hanselman Jr., Daisuke Aoki. He is 55 to 1. Nick LeBrun, Keith Tuma. It's not a Tuma. Let's see. Matty Wong is in there 90 to 1. Taylor Smith 90 to 1. Jared Smith 90 to 1. Tristan McCormick. I think these guys are all that Tristan guy's a college angler. Shane Powell. Super Bowl bass fishing, incredible honor for the Bassmaster Team Championship. So he made it through the championship. Let's see here. Yeah, Kyle Welcher. He's from Opelika, Alabama. Fishes the Chattahoochee River a lot. Bassmaster has him at 40 to 1. Really, man? I hate to hear that. You run across some of those people that are just, I don't know, kind of buttholes, but I mean, I could imagine being in the spotlight all the time. So hopefully I'll never have to worry about that. So you don't have to worry about that. Bassmaster Classic again. Drop a comment below who you think's going to win. Again, just a second. I'm going to be hopping off here for about 56 minutes. You guys, we stay on here for an hour. I don't want to keep up your entirety of your night. We're still 17 deep. I appreciate you guys sticking around with us. A couple of things before we get off here. jbsfishsauce.com, OALL20. That's OALL on another line live 20. Will save you 20% off on JB's Fish Sauce. Again, jbsfishsauce.com. And again, you missed it a second ago, apexfishingapparel.com. If you use Waller 10, that'll save you guys some dough. Guys, I don't make any money on this stuff. You're not lining my pockets. You're helping out people that I enjoy using their products, and they are friends and family members of mine. Basically, we've been around each other long enough. Go out and check that stuff out if you guys are interested. It's been an amazing show tonight, guys. Let's see. Lowen, Wild Bill Lowen. Let's see here. Let's find it. Is Lowen in it? Let's see, digging through here. Sorry, guys, I'm digging through here. I don't remember if I said his name or not. Maybe I did. Not seeing him. I don't think he made it, man. Let me just share my screen. We'll go through them really quickly. Let's see here. Again, Brandon Cobb 3 to 1 or 3 to 2. He's odds-on favorite, obviously. Porosnik 3 to 1. North Prince, George, Virginia. Patrick Walters 3 to 1. Jason Christie 4 to 1. Again, these are Bassmaster odds, guys. These are not mine, obviously. Straight from Bassmaster.com. And this is from, I don't know who wrote this, actually. A lot of these photographs are from James Overstreet, but I know he didn't write this. Seth Fighter 4 to 1. Greg Hackney 5 to 1. Scott Martin 6-1, Polinick 6-1, Hank Cherry 6-1, Stetson Blaylock 7-1, Jeff Gustafson 8-1, a fellow Shimano and G Loomis staffer. Always got to go for Gussie, man. Hopefully he catches him. Drew Cook 8-1, Chris Johnston 10-1, Corey Johnston 10-1, Brock Mosley 12-1, Brandon Lester 12-1, Taku Itu 12-1, G-Man 13-1, Matt Robertson 15-1, Caleb Summerall 15-1, Lee Livesey 15-1, Chris Zaldane Dangerous 15-1, Matt Herron 15-1, John Cruz 17-1, Drew Benton 20-1, John Cox 20-1, Tyler Rivet 20-1, Joey Nania 20-1. I'm not sure how to pronounce his name. Sorry about that. Matt Airy 22-1. David Mullins 25-1. Buddy Gross 25-1 from Chickamauga, Georgia. Mark Frazier 25-1. Chad Pipkins 30-1. Steve Kennedy 30-1. Brandon Carr 30-1. Brian New 30-1. Brian Schmidt 35-1. Shane Lehue 35-1. Josh Strackner 35-1. Austin Felix 31-1 or 35-1 again. Wes Logan 35-1. Luke Palmer 40-1. Kyle Welcher 40-1. Justin Hamner 45-1. Hunter Shryock 45-1. KJ Queen 50-1. Ray Hanselman Jr. 50-1. Aoki is 55-1. Nick LeBrun 60-1. Keith Tuma 90-1. And then these fellas here, let's see. So Bass National Champion Matty Wong obviously is there 90-1. This fella here, Taylor Smith, winner of the 2021 Bass Nation Western Regional, second place finisher in the National Championship, fishing the Super Bowl of bass fishing. Jared Miller 90-1, Bass Nation Championship as well. College angler here, Tristan McCormick 95-1, and then Shane Powell 100-1, and that wraps up the entirety of the field. So unless I made a mistake or they did. No, so last year, Hank Cherry won the Classic last year. He's a back-to-back champ. He won at Guntersville and then won last year as well. Yeah, man. I believe you're right, man. I love watching Taku Itu fish. All those Japanese and Chinese anglers that you see over there, they're so humble, man. That's why I dig those guys. They're just absolutely are so humble, which is amazing. It's like they eat humble pie every day before they go bass fishing. Some of the guys, they're fishing the best equipment on the planet, usually fishing an American-made boat and usually fishing like Shimano and G Loomis. So it's tough to go wrong with that. And those guys don't mess around. They got like a boat full of Stellas. So it is what it is. So, guys, we are at that hour and 3-minute mark. Steven, I'll be messaging you here in just a minute about that place. Let you know where we're staying so you can take a look at it. You're more than welcome to come down. Also, another thing is, give me about 5 minutes here after the show wraps up and check my Facebook page for a giveaway. We're giving away 2 sample bottles of JB's Fish Sauce Spray Mist in my Pincher Garlic. We're giving a tub of JB's Fish Sauce Pincher Garlic Jelly away. I'm going to throw in a Lure Lock small box here, brand new, never been used, and some jigs and some weedless finesse heads, which are basically weedless Ned rig heads that I'm going to be pouring. So there's going to be 6 different winners, a lot of ways to win, a lot of ways to enter. It's totally free. Doesn't cost you a daggone thing. You don't have to buy anything. First and foremost, I did partner up with Do It Molds if you're just now joining us. So be sure to go over and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll be giving away some stuff from Do It. I'm going to be also making a lot of content, and I am super pumped up to be a part of the Do It Molds fishing team for the 2022 fishing season. And it's all because of you guys out there supporting me. So continue to do so. Again, I got that 4,000 subscriber mark by the end of December 2022. It is a make or break moment. I'm either going to hit it or I ain't, and we'll have to find out. I'm pushing really hard. I'm releasing 3 videos a week in perpetuity if I can. Monday is going to be released live on Tuesdays. Thursday is going to be released. Monday's a release of a video. Tuesdays is live. Thursdays is going to be another release video. I'm doing a series. The one you're going to see on Thursday is how to choose different types of lines, when and where to use them, in my opinion. The next series that you're going to see is Corey and I were talking about it, and we were talking about how a lot of people want to get into the game of using things like GoPro, like this right here. But buying the GoPro is fairly easy now. You know, they're $300-400, which is not a drop in the bucket. But once you buy them, that's where confusion sets in for a lot of people. So my next series is going to be how to get that GoPro set up the best that it can be for you as an angler or on the water. I'm going to show you some of the accessories that I recommend. And I'm also going to show you how to get those files off of that camera onto your computer. And then in another video, I'm going to show you how to take those files and put it into a free editing software that I found today that I absolutely love, and it's going to be easy for you guys to use. I'm going to show you how to export that video and how to upload it to YouTube to start your very own YouTube channel, and that's going to be coming up next week, so stay tuned for that. So, Richard, check the comments of this video in about an hour. The very last comment, actually, I'll pin it to the top if I can, the link. It'll just be a link. You can definitely share it. You can join for sure. Yeah, so if you're on YouTube and you don't have Facebook, I'll drop the link in the video description or the video comments or the description below. I'll drop the link to it so you guys can enter too. It's just going to ask for your name and stuff, and it's just a random draw. You're not giving me any kind of information. I will never sell your data. Don't get that wrong. You know, I'm not going to ask you for anything but your name, so I know who you are when you win. So definitely check the description of this video. I'll put it in the description. That'll be easier. The link to it. So give me about 10 minutes. You'll see it. Yeah, man, I love it too. I caught my first fish on one the other day. Love it. I think it's going to be a game changer. Greg Drown and I at the Tackle Box were having a conversation about the other day. I feel like the Ned Rig, the Z-Man TRD worm is a little tough to use because it's so spongy and so stringy. So I'm looking forward to get a Midwest worm mold from Do It to pour my own. I also think a Jackal Yammy fish is really good. And obviously the Berkeley bait is going to be phenomenal for that too. But I love it as well. Guys, if you guys want to go watch them Wayne boys catch some absolute fish and lean on them, go over to at them Wayne boys on YouTube and check them out. Subscribe up. You'll love it. The page isn't shareable? If it's not, I will. I'll check it out. I'll figure out what's going on. I'll check it out, Adam. Definitely do appreciate the support every week, man. Love to see you here. But guys, we're an hour and 10 minutes in. I'm not going to keep you any more of your time. Give me 10 minutes. Check on Facebook. Check on YouTube. I'll also post the link in my bio of my Instagram at OnAnotherLine on all that stuff. And appreciate you guys sticking around for this episode of OnAnotherLine. Super pumped to be a part of the Do It Molds team for the 2022 fishing season. And without further ado, guys, Tackle Box the 12th and 13th of February. I'll see you there. If you're not going to be there, guys, when I say this, I cannot stress to you enough. If you want an NRX Plus rod, they have the most in stock I've ever seen in my life. And I guarantee you, I can put a price on you that you will not refuse. It is going to be that good. So come and see me. Anyway, guys, if you guys can, you guys know the routine. Get out there and lean on them. We'll see you next time. Stay tuned for this Thursday's release of how to choose the proper fishing line for what different techniques you're probably going to be using, whether that be monofilament, fluorocarbon, braid, or copolymer. It's coming out on Thursday. Hope you enjoy that. Next week, stay tuned for the GoPro video series live on Tuesday, and we will see you next time, guys. If you guys can, get out there and lean on them. We'll see you next time on Another Line.